Welcome back, intro students. We're going to talk about facial features and how to make clothing on your human figure vessels. But, one of the main things you're going to be graded on is the development of character and personality. And a lot of that comes through body language, facial expressions, all that good stuff. So we want to build the features. We don't want to just take a tool and scratch things into the clay. One thing I like to do when I start facial features is I just take my thumbs and actually shove in some eye sockets, okay? Just having a couple of little eye sockets is a good way to start. Some of your additional clay can be used for maybe rolling up a little ball and maybe squishing it for the beginnings of an eyeball. So right off the bat, we're already making progress. I like with the mouth. With a mouth, you could just make some lips with some coils, but I like to use a tool and actually maybe start opening things up a little bit. As if the mouth, you can then play around with some of the clay. I could build up a nose, eyebrows, ears, hair. And depending on your idea, don't be afraid to exaggerate some things. Nobody said that these had to look like realistic. They can be kind of cartoony if you'd like. I'm just forming up a piece of clay in my fingers here. I'm trying to make kind of what looks like a teardrop shape. Probably not a bad idea. I could score and slip this, but just for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to kind of push that into place and blend a nose in. If you find other opportunities to create ventilation, not a bad idea. Like I could poke this hole up into the nostrils. Again, in the preparation to make sure that things don't explode. Use a tool to kind of push in a little booger trough there. Here's another little thing. I'm doing this quick so our video is kind of short. I'm just going to make little tiny coils. I'm going to drape this coil over the top of that eye that I did. And it's just the beginnings of what looks like an eyelid. I could roll up a couple of little balls and maybe put them next to the side of the nose to make it look like nostrils. I don't know. In a short amount of time, I've already kind of gotten a face going here. I guess I'll come back to this and maybe work on that more later. Did we get a good look at what we have so far? It's clothing that I want to talk to you real quick about. Most of your clothing is going to be done with coils. Some of you are thinking, well, what are you talking about? Coil. What does that have to do with clothing? I would suggest to all of you, I almost always put like the bottom of a shirt or maybe the beginning of pants, just to, again, in an effort to break up this space. So let's say I want to make it look like the bottom of a shirt. It comes down. I'm going to use this coil to help me do that. Normally, I'd want a coil that was long enough to wrap around the entire figure. But here's what I'm going to do with that coil. I'm going to blend only one edge. Just one edge. And in this case, I'm going to blend it upwards. The reason I'm only blending one of the two edges is that there'll be a distinctive line on the bottom portion, and that makes it look like either the end of a shirt or maybe the beginning of pants or shorts or whatever it may be. you can see that there. I'm gonna hold this up. See that distinctive line underneath? Same thing can be done for, you know, sleeves. If you do a little coil around the wrist and maybe blend upwards, it makes it look like the end of a shirt. If you want to make it look like a button-up shirt, maybe lay a coil down, blend it one direction, and then you could add little buttons and stuff like that. Well, I've got some repairs to do to my guy because his arm fell off, but for the time being, I hope that was helpful, because this is the fun part. This is when you get these vessels to kind of come to life. So with that, best of luck. Let's go team.